Now, some of you may be looking at the title of this video and thinking to yourselves, gee willikers, why isn't Joe talking about the recent drama surrounding Hi-Fi Rush going to other consoles? Because that was a pretty big salt mine recently that I evidently have not made a video about. I was making a video about it, but then I stopped, dear viewer, and I'll explain why with the simple question to you. Which of the following two things is funnier? PlayStation fanboys laughing and pointing fingers at Microsoft for making their games more accessible, or PlayStation fanboys crying and wetting themselves over Sony making their games more accessible? I think the answer should be pretty clear. And for the record, and we might as well just get this out of the way before we get into the PlayStation fanboy salt, if you're an Xbox dude and you're complaining about Hi-Fi Rush going to other consoles, get the frick over yourself, okay? Making a great game more accessible is good for gamers because it means art isn't being held hostage by a plastic box. But it's also good for the corporation that you hold so dear because when they make a game more accessible like this, they're making more money off of a game with their name on it, which I thought was what you people cared about. Like, if you're a diehard Xbox dude who wants Xbox to make a buttload of money and they want Xbox to be the most influential name in the business, why wouldn't you want Hi-Fi Rush to go to more platforms and make more money for the Xbox ecosystem? Like there are a lot of people out there who just aren't going to buy an Xbox. So why do you see it as a bad thing that Microsoft is now going to make more money off of those people who don't want the Xbox by meeting them halfway and publishing their game on a platform that they do want? And the same goes for all the PlayStation diehards who still complain about Sony putting first-party games on the PC. Like, look, a lot of us PC dudes just aren't going to buy a PS5. That's just the way it is. So why are you upset that Sony is still making some money off of us by meeting us halfway? It's just so stupid. I don't understand why the console warriors still don't get this. You know, making games multi-platform is not only good for the art, because more people get to experience it, but it's also good for the company you claim to be a cheerleader for, because they're making money off of people who were never going to enter their ecosystem through the hardware. But anyways, let's shift focus back to the title of this video, which is not Hi-Fi Rush, it's Helldivers 2. So, it was confirmed the other day that Helldivers 2, the upcoming co-op shooter from PlayStation Studios, will be getting full crossplay between the PS5 and PC versions, and it's launching on both platforms day and date. Not the first time PlayStation has done this, by the way. Remember Predator Hunting Grounds? Day one PlayStation and PC with full crossplay, and yet a bunch of PlayStation dudes are acting like Helldivers 2 is like making history here. So, you know, don't mind me. I don't even own a fucking PlayStation, and apparently I'm a better PlayStation historian than the actual PlayStation people. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to act like this game never happened, cause yikes. The point I'm getting at here is that Helldivers 2 is launching day and date on PC and PlayStation 5 with full crossplay, and despite all the PlayStation fanboys just a few days ago celebrating Xbox games going multi-platform, a number of those same fanboys are now turning around and whining about Sony making their games multi-platform, even though we've known they were doing this for a really long time. And no, it doesn't get any less stupid here, I promise. So I guess apologies for not making a salt video about the Hi-Fi Rush multi-platform situation, but personally, I find this salt to be much saltier given the context of the Hi-Fi Rush salt. Because remember, Hi-Fi Rush going multi-platform, that's good. Helldivers 2 going multi-platform, that's bad. Why? Because there's a PlayStation logo on the box. And literally no other reason. Pac-Man says in response to the announcement that the game has crossplay, "Why are you putting games on PC? I bought a PlayStation for PlayStation games. Now you're giving away the games day one?" Now before we get into my response to this tweet specifically, let's go ahead and click on this lad's profile and start blaring the irony alarm, because literally at the top of his feed was a retweet of an account called Japan Hates Xbox, basically just Fortnite emoting over the fact that Hi-Fi Rush is going multi-platform. And then I scrolled down a little bit and saw that this dude had spent most of the other day retweeting pot shots at Xbox over the Hi-Fi Rush thing. But now, when Sony is putting a first-party game on PC, this is what you have to say about it. Do you understand now why the Helldivers salt is way funnier than the Hi-Fi Rush salt? But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this nonsense that you just spewed out of your spew hole. First of all, this is still a PlayStation game. Like, I'm not sure why you're whining about this somehow not being a PlayStation game. Like, I bought the PlayStation for PlayStation games. Helldivers 2 is still a PlayStation game. I don't know what you're whining about. But also, today I learned that PlayStation games on PC are free. apparently they're just giving them away on PC. Rest assured, this game is $40 on Steam, just like it's $40 on PSN, but you just keep telling yourself that Sony is doing something gravely wrong by putting a game on PC so PC gamers can give them money for it and increase Sony's revenue. I mean, I didn't think that qualified as giving the game away for free, but what do I know? Moving on. David says, never seen a dumber company. Why would you keep promoting PC on your PlayStation channel? Way to keep undermining the PS5. Yeah, why would PlayStation promote a game they're publishing? Why would they do that? Why would the company paying the bills for a game's development want to make that money back when the game comes out? Again, I'll never understand why people can simultaneously be like, yes, I want PlayStation to be the most successful company, and then literally get mad when PlayStation does something that would make them a more successful company. Like, dude, some of us aren't gonna buy a fucking PS5. We just don't want it, and Sony can't make us want it. Also, this is a co-op multiplayer game. Why wouldn't you want the player base to be as big as possible? This is why people say fanboys only care about the hardware and the logo. Sony putting games on the PC benefits Sony, and it benefits everyone in Sony's ecosystem. Just like Microsoft putting their games on other platforms benefits everyone in their ecosystem because it increases the amount of people in the ecosystem and increases the amount of money there is to spend on improving that ecosystem. You may love the hardware that Sony makes, but there are millions of people who are never going to buy their hardware. And there is so much money to be made off the people who don't want to buy your hardware, and Sony is recognizing that, finally. Why can't you? J. Barry Stripe says crossplay will be turned off on my end. Yeah, the number of people I saw, like, in response to the announcement that crossplay was going to be in Helldivers 2, the number of people who were just loudly like, I'm turning off crossplay, I'm turning it off, look at me. Like, it's just fucking dumb. Partially because, again, it just makes the PlayStation dudes look like a community of people physically allergic to the concept of playing games on something other than a PlayStation. But also, Helldivers is a co-op game. Like, it's co-op. You saw the words crossplay and immediately were like, no, the PC cheaters are gonna come steal Christmas. But like, it's not a PvP game, which raises the question, were you actually excited for Helldivers? Or were you just excited for another PlayStation exclusive? Because you can't simultaneously be excited for Helldivers and scared about crossplay in Helldivers. Because if you are scared about crossplay in Helldivers, do you even know what kind of game Helldivers is? Horizon Omega Zero says, may it flop. Don't push PC aids into PlayStation. You see it destroyed Xbox, and you see Nintendo strays away from it and growing without it. Real PlayStation fans don't support this because it sends a signal that selling out to PC is okay, and it's not. We grew without PC, we grow without PC. God, Omega's been doing this for a long time. I see this dude the same way that I see people like Unleashed. Like, either you're genuinely one of the dumbest people alive, or you've been 24/7 LARPing as the dumbest person alive for literal years now. And either way, that's just fucking sad. Moving on. Joey Grinchy says PC will be hacking day one, turning off crossplay. Again, preemptively complaining about hackers in a co-op game like this is just weird. Like, Helldivers 2 is just not the kind of game where hacking would damage the experience, like, at all. It's a co-op game, it's a PvE game. If you squad up with somebody who's cheating, you can fix the problem by just not squatting with them. And it's not like this is the kind of game where a lot of people are going to put the effort into setting up hacks, you know? It's like hacking in Division 2. Like, what is to be gained by doing that? But again, PlayStation diehards just reminding us over and over again that they don't actually pay attention to things other than the logos on their favorite box. This person says, so are PlayStation players able to play Helldivers 2 on PS5 online for free like PC players are? Or are we second-class citizens? Yes, this may come as a shock to you, but when you pay to play your own games online for multiple decades, the company making you pay isn't really gonna be motivated to stop making you pay. Compare that to the PC market, where online is free, and basically every attempt to monetize online gaming in a similar way to PSN or Xbox Live has failed. If you don't want to pay to play your own games online, just stop proving to these companies that you will pay the fee basically no matter what. Like, it amazes me that PlayStation dudes will pay to play their own games online month after month, year after year. They don't question it. They don't cancel their membership when Sony raises the price for no reason, because, like, this isn't actually something that costs Sony any money. They don't have to charge you to play online. They just choose to because they know they can get away with it. Which, like, that alone should make it the most insulting thing in the world that they have ever raised the price. Like, even once. My point is that Sony can do all of these things, and you don't say a word. But when Helldivers 2 doesn't require a PSN membership for the fucking PC version, because of course it doesn't, that's where you draw the line. That is what upsets you and makes you feel like a second-class citizen, or whatever you fucking said. The fact that you are like this is the reason they're charging you. Fernando says, I've always been an advocate of speaking with your wallet, and after seeing that PlayStation gamers have to pay for PS Plus to play Helldivers 2 online while PC players do not, I decided that I will not buy this game. If they offer it for free, it is the only way I will get this game. See, more of this. More of this. Again, little strange that it's taken you guys this long to notice that paying to play your own games online is a fucking scam, but this is good. This is good. If this is what wakes you up to it, then great. Stop paying for playing your games online. It's dumb. Look, more games going to more platforms, especially with crossplay between them, is always a good thing. Always. More people get access to games. More people can play together. And more people get clued into the fact that console gaming is kind of a scam. All good things all around, so stop fighting it so hard. I've never seen people so angry about everyone in their hobby moving towards a better market. It's so strange. Like, you would think the PlayStation dudes would be happy about PlayStation making more money off of gamers, which results in PlayStation having more money to make more games, but like, fucking apologies for having faith in you guys, I guess. Alright, toodles.